Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
We're back here at the Addison Center for the Arts with our new artist, Janine Holt-Soldner. Janine actually was here last year for one of your presentations on the portraits. That was a wonderful, wonderful event. Now, Janine was born in Quantico, Virginia, and she's a military brat, and she got to travel internationally, of course, all over the United States. And while you were doing that, you were doing all your artwork, and it primarily came from your grandfather. Is that right?
Well, my grandfather, I have an interesting story that most people can relate to, especially if they loved art as a child. When I was about 12 and my family lived in Cherry Point, North Carolina, there was a contest for the Bozo Show to draw Sally Field as the Flying Nun, and I did a drawing, and I mailed it to the Bozo Show, and I won, and they showed my drawing on the Bozo Show. Wow. And it was featured in the local newspaper. So my grandfather in Baltimore sent me a set of oil paints. So I started painting alone, on my own, and I painted a lot. In all my spare time, I was painting when I wasn't at the beach or swimming and at the age of 15, my mom took my paintings to an artist who accepted me into his studio. So I started my training as a painter when I was 15.
Weren't you lucky, though, that you had all that support, your mother, your grandfather, that is so important to a child?
Yes, it is, and it takes family to support someone in their passion. It's hard to go it alone. So you can't do it alone. You have to have people there to help push you along.
Yeah, kind of pushing you, but guiding you, not so much shoving you into it.
Well, they're interested with you. They're interested in what you're doing, so they'll encourage it. And I know that you specialize in oil paintings and acrylics. Is that right?
That's
correct. Drawing. And I guess your original works were ranging from portraits and figures to landscape and still life. And mixed conceptual works.
Yeah, mixed media work. I haven't done many of those lately, but they're mixed media boxes where, like a Joseph Cornell box, where I would have boxes and I would find objects that would have meaning and then assemble those inside the box.
Wow.
I have one of those paintings, one of those pieces right now on exhibit at the ARC Gallery in Chicago.
Oh, well, you have a very creative mind.
Thank you.
Because you were the creator of a groundbreaking solo traveling exhibit, Memories of Era, Reflections of Our Time, and the founder of the seminal Portraits of American Veterans Project, which we had a chance to see last time.
Yes.
And I thought that was great, honoring your father and your grandfather, too.
Well,
Was
my
your grandfather
father, my
military?
father-in-law, my sister, and
So many
21 other
family.
veterans. I recently finished my father's portrait. He's the
Oh,
24th and final portrait of the body of
How
work.
wonderful. And you received your bachelor's degree in art and art education from the University of Florida.
That's right.
And then your master's from the University of Illinois
That's
in
correct.
art and art education. How wonderful.
Well, Janine obviously has a lot of things going, as
Oh.
usual, which we
Yes,
can
look
see
at
here
these beautiful.
today. And this is Fluid Motion?
Yes, title of the show was Fluid Motion, and that was the initial title, and I looked at all the paintings that I was planning to exhibit, and I added fresh visions of Chicago at play. And I love water. I grew up around water as a competitive swimmer, scuba diver, and a water skier. And when I moved to Chicago 23 years ago, I could go to the Fox River or various rivers, but I didn't see people enjoying the water the way I did when I was a kid until I went to Crown Fountain in the summer. So I have been busy the last, say, three and a half years doing paintings of people at play in Crown Fountain in Chicago. And what I do is I don't copy directly from the photograph. I play around with the images and try to show how people of all ages come together and enjoy themselves.
Crown Fountain. I'm not sure exactly where that's at.
Crown Fountain is a Millennium Park in Chicago.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
it's
right, 'cause
covered with
it's in-
snow in the winter, but in the summer it blooms like the flowers.
Oh, it's a wonderful
And
place.
it brings all the people out.
Well, the Bean is right over there too,
The
isn't
Bean
he?
is there as well. Yeah.
So a lot of people, if I mentioned Crown the Fountain, they didn't know what I was talking about. I didn't know it had a name. I just thought it had like a big wall with water falling.
Oh, I had to remember the name because that's when people ask me, I can tell them Crown Fountain, the famous fountain. That, by the way, many people have seen my paintings that grew up in Chicago, and they said that the paintings remind them of when the streets in the summer, when the fire hydrants would be open and people would play in the fire hydrants.
They would splash in them, I remember.
Children would play in the fire hydrants, and I thought, well, how appropriate Crown Fountain brings that element, and then all the faces on the fountain that change. My interest is in the people and the way they just, I've seen adults just take off their shoes. I've seen women in dresses run under the water, soaking wet. I've seen girls in burqas.
Getting wet?
Getting wet.
Wow.
Good for
Yes.
them.
Well, as far as your work, it's almost all in oils, is that right? Most of your work is in
Most
oil?
of my work is in oils, yes.
And you prefer that medium?
Well, that is my preferable medium. I do work in acrylics and I work in watercolor, and I do a lot of drawing because I have to do preparatory drawings. I do life drawing, I do portrait drawing, but my finished work is usually in oil.
Now, most of what we see here, these are done from photographs
Yes,
that you
they're
had.
done
So you go down there and you just kind of walk around and take pictures of people. Did somebody ever say anything to you? What are you taking a picture of me for?
No, they're totally oblivious. They're having so much fun.
They couldn't see
They're
through
in
the
the
water.
moment. You know, they're just enjoying themselves because they know the summer's so fleeting in Chicago.
It's too short. It's true.
It is.
But you know, as I look at this, it looks so refreshing. And after the winter we've been through this year, this is so nice to see. We can anticipate this because summer is coming pretty soon.
Exactly. I thought this was very good timing.
Yes,
to
I
put
think
this
so.
work up. And most of these pieces are new within the last 2 years they've been painted. Yeah, most of them I painted within the last 2 years.
You know what boggles my mind is how do you paint water and the splashing water? It looks so real.
Thank you very much. Took a lot of
A special technique for that, or
just working at it and doing it over and over and over again and remembering what I did. It's like anything else. You
Yeah.
work hard at it, you're going to figure it out.
you're going to figure it out, I
Yeah.
guess.
Now, some of the work that you have over here is a little bit different.
Oh, these these were actually smaller pieces that I painted for a show that was at the Jackson Young Gallery in Chicago about 2 years ago, and they had a theme of the 4 elements. So rather than doing 4 separate elements, I did all the elements together in 4 different paintings:
So the elements are
earth, air, fire, and water. So earth, air, fire, and water are all present somewhere in those paintings.
Well, this one especially caught my eye because I see the feet on the very top, and this is the reflection of the person standing on the wet pavement there.
Yeah, I really do enjoy
That's great.
the distortion that water provides, a reflection. It provides abstraction. And if people don't understand abstract art, this is a good introduction to
Yes.
what where abstract art can come from. And this would be like if you're looking down at water, you just see somebody's feet and then the reflection and then the buildings.
And in the building, what's on top of the building, you know, that
Yeah.
it's all a little distorted from
yeah,
the water.
and the water's rippling.
Yes.
And so you have you have various depths of water, so water moves differently at different depths, but when the water is shallow, it settles faster than
that
deep water.
we're seeing that motion that you're talking about even
Yes.
here. Well, the gallery's open from Wednesday through Saturday from 1 to 4. And Janine, when is the
Reception.
artist reception?
The artist reception will be on Saturday, April 18th from 2 to 4. And everyone is welcome. Please come and see the show.
You know-
Another thing is all of the work is for sale. So
Oh.
please feel free to buy something. I would love for you to buy my work for your collection.
I don't have any work to buy, but I'll show up if you have me at your house for dinner. We'll be right back.
A picture-perfect lawn may look harmless, but its effects can be a real horror show. Rain washes fertilizer, bug and weed killers off your lawn, down ditches and drains, and into our rivers, where they can be toxic to wildlife and pollute our water. So cut back on lawn chemicals. Mow higher, leave the clippings, and enjoy a beautiful, healthy, safer lawn.
How do you feel about your commute these days? A little crabby? You can change that pretty easily. Just take Pace and feel happy as a clam. The savings will be a big change too. Travel in a more relaxing Pace.
My name is Dave Haas, and I am Public Information Officer for the DuPage County Health Department. And I'm going to be talking about a really interesting subject, a new initiative that the Health Department is working on, and it's called Impact DuPage. And I'm really pleased that with me today is Christina LePage, who is the Assistant Director, Community Health Resources. And Christina is going to tell us all about Impact DuPage, and we're really appreciative of your time in explaining this initiative and how Impact DuPage works.
Great, thanks Dave. It's really a pleasure to be here today to talk about this exciting county-wide initiative. So a group of leaders in the county got together in 2013, really looking at ways that we could advance, the work that we're doing in the county around very complex issues. We wanted to be able to maximize our resources in terms of doing countywide needs assessment and strategic planning. We recognize that often the hospitals are doing these activities on a 3-year cycle. The health department is mandated to do these activities on a 5-year cycle, the county, some other organizations, and we thought, what if we could really better coordinate these activities, really create some nice synergies and align mutually reinforcing activities so that we could really make a difference on some very complex issues and needs that emerge among our residents. So that is how Impact DuPage was born, really looking at a collective impact model where you have a common vision of what truly are the issues and how do we use data to really define and understand what's happening, really understand the root cause of some of these issues, and then really be able to use some of our local funding, local resources to come at them in kind of new and creative ways, and to really also support some existing activities that we know are found to be effective. How do we grow that? How do we spread that in the county? So those are some pieces that we're working on through this initiative.
And what exactly is the Health Department's role in this? And can you give us an example of some of the other partners who have come to the table in this collaboration?
Well, absolutely. The power of collective impact is that you're working with a number of diverse partners and able to come at the issues with using and capitalizing on all the strengths of these organizations and systems. And so again, it's not just the health department that's at the table for Impact DuPage. You have the DuPage Federation, you have our hospital partners, you have funders like the United Way and the DuPage Foundation, and some other community-based organizations, again, that are able to really examine and kind of look at systems from a variety of perspectives. So the health department in particular, we are serving as the backbone organization for this initiative. That is a really important element of effective collective impact models. And so backbone organizations really provide kind of that structure. They give it the initiative that support that they can lean back. So for example, myself, I serve as the project lead. So responsible for all the project management, making sure that we're really working to achieve the goals of this initiative. We also then, are able to help with that centralized data collection. Again, those pieces that help us really define what these needs are. And so maintaining that piece for this initiative. Also looking at ways that we can advance policy issues, helping again to inform and define kind of our legislative agenda, and ultimately really creating public will, and supporting public will and support for this initiative. So huge on the communication piece and the coordination piece as we really look to existing efforts in the county. How do we coordinate that? How do we work through Impact DuPage to really make sure we're sharing best practices, that we're sharing data, and creating that shared vision around these very complex issues. So that really comes back to where the health department fits in and providing that backbone support to make sure we keep things in motion and keep things moving and making this information accessible to the public. And so in addition, we work very closely, another element of backbone support, with the DuPage Federation and kind of helping us keep that momentum going.
Yeah, and I've heard it called, and we've talked about it as far as it's called a one-stop shop for data and resources. Can you explain what that one-stop shop, I think that resonates with people. How do you interpret that one-stop shop?
Sure. Well, we have a wealth of valuable information that has come out of a very thorough assessment process that Impact DuPage conducted the latter part of 2014. And so for 6 months, we really came at it from 4 different angles with this assessment, which allowed us to then identify 5 priority issues that we're going to focus on for the next 3 to 5 years. So we had to make that information accessible to the public. It couldn't just be we did all this work and then what? We have to share it. So one of the key elements of Impact DuPage is a website. We created a platform for us to be able to share tons of data for the public. So not only are we able to look at just pieces that affect health status, well-being of our residents, there are just general pieces about the economy in DuPage County, pieces about transportation, the built environment. I mean, looking at our parks and recreation, some of those resources that are available that really support well-being of our residents. So again, we had to make that accessible. So that one-stop shop really points back to our website, impactdupage.org, where we house loads of data. We also have, information about county-wide initiatives, county coalitions that are really tackling some of these complex issues. There's information about federal funding opportunities, national funding opportunities, promising practices, local resources, news, and anything related back to, what are those major issues that affect our residents. So we wanted all that information wrapped up into one easy location where any of our partners, the community at large, can come back and look at what is Impact DuPage focusing on? How are we coordinating local efforts? And once we really get our momentum going, how are we going to be able to share our results to the community? So one-stop shop is very important to have that all readily available.
And we are really just in the information stage of that. We're spreading information throughout the county. Mm-hmm. We're fortunate that we're able to work with Addison today to talk about some of the initiatives, some of the work that could be information that could be obtained for groups in Addison. Mm-hmm. I know that the Addison Library has already contacted us for information, and that's just an illustration, but other groups we would encourage to also come to us to gather that, to get that information, because we have a lot of data there. And that's kind of just an illustration of what's available.
Right. Well, you look at, the Addison Library, I mean, whether an organization is potentially working on a grant, they want to look at maybe, emerging needs that they're seeing in their community and kind of check that against what we're seeing at the county level. We have all that information readily available. They can also see best practices, for some of those priority issues, what's already being done at the county level and even in some local communities. So again, communities don't have to reinvent the wheel. They can plug in with a lot of existing efforts, and again, that have been, proven that they have really effective results with community organizing, kind of implementing some of these pieces. And so, one of the things to stress is communities aren't alone, and they can reach back to Impact DuPage, for a wealth of information about a number of different angles that they could consider consider when kind of approaching emerging needs that they're seeing locally. So whether that be needs that schools are seeing, whether that's municipal leaders and things they're seeing at that level, whether it's faith-based organizations and things they're seeing, within their congregation. So, examples, again, kind of pointing back to, so what are our priority issues then with Impact DuPage? What might they, be able to find? We're going to be looking at for the next 5 years, really increasing the effectiveness of strategies that focus on 5 priority areas. And those 5 are access to health services, mental health, substance abuse, affordable housing, and we also have healthy lifestyles. So with those 5 areas, again, what we're going to do is develop an action plan. And that, again, is kind of capitalizing on existing efforts that we found to be effective in each of those 5 areas, but also really spurring kind of what are some of those new innovative approaches that we need to implement to really move the needle on making improvements in those areas. Again, valuable information for local communities to kind of find out, okay, how are we approaching these issues, and where can we plug in and kind of share in some of those resources and information?
Yeah, I think our viewers will be very much interested in those key issues that are being addressed. And just interpreting those, Impact DuPage is a very high level of looking at things because there's just a lot of information there trying to piece together those big puzzles. But really, who's going to benefit are the individuals. Those individual needs that you talked about. Really, it comes down to helping people, and that is really what the ultimate goal and what I think what was going to actually be the result of Impact DuPage is people are going to be helped. And I think that is probably part of what you were talking about from the very beginning when this was launched.
Absolutely. And one of the important things to note in terms of just even the timeliness of this initiative is in the midst of, ongoing state, federal, fiscal crises and budget cuts, DuPage County has been very proactive in terms of always being kind of one step ahead and really, looking at progressive ways that we can continue to support the well-being of our residents so that we really can hold on and protect that status that we have as one of the healthiest counties in the state. With the recent releasing of the county health rankings, that status is something that we have because we take the well-being of our residents very seriously, and we want to be able to support and really promote all of those good practices that help us maintain at that status of our health and wellness overall. So again, this is building on, Impact DuPage is building on decades of work that our partners have, achieved in really supporting a culture of health and well-being in our county, always being progressive and innovative in our approaches. And again, you're absolutely right. The DuPage County residents are at the core of why we're motivated really to take on an initiative of this magnitude, and really coming at it with a collective impact approach. This is something that each of us as partners in the county, as stakeholders, really have a hand in supporting. It's not just healthcare. It's not just human services. I mean, this is really reaching deeper into the communities. What role do businesses play in supporting well-being of residents, faith communities, schools, civic organizations, in kind of coming at these issues from new ways. So all of those elements are very important with the success of really moving the needle on complex issues. So.
And as we're talking, it's obviously not a short-term prospect. It's going to be a longer-term, big-picture prospect. It'll take some time. Where did the information that we have on Impact DuPage website, where did that information and that data come from, and how will it be maintained so that we have accurate, up-to-date information into the future?
Yes, we have, Impact DuPage is working through the Healthy Communities Institute, and so this is an organization that specializes in data collection and analysis. So they have really streamlined this process for us. So they are pulling from credible national resources in terms of data collection information, like the census, like the Centers for Disease Prevention. And these are all credible, publicly available data sources, and what they're doing for us is they're doing the work of compiling all of our DuPage County data for us. So anytime new data were to become available, they automatically are going to populate and update our website. So at any given time, there's no delay in terms of getting that information. That is a piece of the work that they do for us, so we have timely information so that we can continue on with the work that we're doing and adjust as needed. As new data become available, we are able to stay informed and on top of, how are we doing and where do we need to maybe adjust and kind of refocus our efforts. So Healthy Communities Institute plays a very key role into helping us be more efficient and effective in our use of data and keeping that all easily, accessible and available on our Impact DuPage website.
And if somebody is interested in more information on Impact DuPage, where do they go for information? And how would they, if they're interested, how would they even supply some additional information or resources to the website?
Well, impactdupage.org is our website, and we encourage our community partners, just again the community at large, to take a look, to explore. What are some of those indicators? Looking at what does mental health look like? Some of those issues. Looking at some other health stats like adults with health insurance, children with health insurance, even some indicators around cancer prevalence, obesity, things like that. If you have any interest in any areas affecting well-being, please, check out the website. Also, if you're interested in contributing information, whether that be you have an idea for an important data point that would be useful for us to consider, we have a committee that vets out new information like that for the dashboard. So they are able to submit that through Impact DuPage at dupagehealth.org. That's our email address. And again, all that information is easily available on the website. They can also contribute new information about local resources if they're not finding something that they believe should be put there, community groups, coalitions, community initiatives. There's easy ways that partners can submit those recommendations for information that could be added to the website.
Okay. Well, Christina, I think you've done a really good job of outlining this Impact DuPage initiative. I thank you for your time today. And my name is Dave Haas. We've been talking about Impact DuPage. And I thank you for your time and for watching this program.
Dear Mom, I don't know how to start saying something like this. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have gone to the party. I've entered a world I don't want to be a part of. I'm in hell, Mom. A nightmare, and I need you to help me. I'm so afraid it's too late. Everything spiraled out of control. I want to be your little girl again. I love you, Mom, and I don't know where to turn.
Dear baby girl, I wish I could have helped you. You would have never done anything, ever, for me to hate you. I just wish I could hold you in my arms and tell you it's all going to be okay, that we can just go back to the way it was. I love you, and I'd do anything to hold you in my arms one more time. Love, your Mom.
Well, welcome everybody. We're going to do our mini grant presentation now. I am Kathleen Willis, the Vice President of the Education Foundation for District 4. One of the things that we do every year is at our annual Family Fun Fair, we present our teachers with their mini grants. These are grants that help them do special projects in their classroom. They can be anything from a literacy project to hatching little chicken eggs, and we're really happy to be able to support our teachers with all their great events. So this is what we're doing now. We'll be giving these mini grant presentations, and Miss Maureen Hansen will be presenting them to our teachers. Thank you so much for coming.
We're here tonight to present mini grants to our teachers that have applied this year. We have raised enough money this year thanks to all of the wonderful contributions from parents and faculty members and foundation members to give out 50 mini grants this year. 50. That is the most we've ever been able to give out, and we're more than happy to do that. The purpose of the mini grants is to give the teachers a chance to apply for materials or programs that perhaps the Board of Education can't fund for them. So this is a little extra funding for them. And now we'd like to start with presenting the mini grants. Would the following people from Wesley School please come up? Tammy Bonietti, whose project was the Listening Library for Primary Students. Jennifer Lolino is not here tonight, but she was team building session for ED classes. Marissa Lentine, Literature Circle, Science Social Studies. Vicki Potter and Mary Jo Stephenson, Reading Plants, the Seed of Knowledge. These are our winners from Wesley School. Congratulations. And my assistant this evening handing out the checks is Diane Janokas. And now from Stone School, Kelly Breeken, Listening Center. From Kelly Breeken, Sarah Jones and Jolene Schramm, Social Studies Weekly. Please come up. Lucy D'Agostino, Daily 5, Listen to Reading. Christine Brocas, Strum More Strings. Christine Brocas, again, Stories Come Alive, Salt Creek Ballet Residency. Sue Ortel, Stacy Hahn, and Susie Rigucci, Sigmir, whoa, how do you say it? Synergistic Learning for the American Revolution. Excuse me for a little typo there. Cindy Beckadell, Moving to Books and Words. Those are our winners from Stone School. Thank you and congratulations. And now on to Lincoln School. Paula Marino, Carly Bettini, Gloria Velez, and Caroline Bonilla, Wheels, Levers, and Pulleys. Oh my! Demi Sekoff, Literacy Integrated Fine Arts Curriculum. Yvonne Guerrero, Learning Time Carpet and Classroom Library. Mimi Bain and Yvonne Guerrero, Hatching Chicks. Kim Heipel and Kate Parita, Listening Library. Carolyn Bonilla, ICANN and iPad. Hillary Lamb, Mallet Music Madness. Kim Heipel, Chicks in the Classroom. Megan McGuire, Lego We-Do Sets for 5th Grade STEM. Ray Hagedon, same, Lego We-Do Sets for 5th graders. And I believe that is all of our people from Lincoln School. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you for applying and for winning. And now Lake Park School, Genevieve Culhane, English, learn all about it. And Lori Highland, Technology and Physical Education and Nature Club. Yay! Those are our winners from Lake Park Elementary School. Indian Trail Junior High. Angela Gordon, Heat Transfer Activity. Elizabeth Nelson, Math Facts in a Flash. Andrew Vach, Social Science. Janet Diaz, Craig Bennett, Lawrence Underwood, and several others, In My Shoes Interactive Workshop. Katie Contreras, STEM Writers Workshop. Donna Johnson and Kristen Ryan, Let's Listen to Books. Kimberly Trubik, Technology-Based Writing. Danielle Zelinsky, Literacy and Geometry. Craig Bennett, PBIS Teams Incentive Materials for the Indian Trail PBIS program. Melissa Nicolau, Health Literacy. Jenny Makla, Tim Roberts, and several others, Creative Lifelong Readers. Janelle Bledsoe, Elizabeth Glass, Be the Change, an anti-bullying and student leadership program for Project POP. Jennifer Erf, Putting the Fun in Functional. And those are our winners from Indian Trail Junior High. As you can see, we have many winners, so it will take just a few minutes to hand out the checks. And now from Fullerton School, Phyllis Pasilli, Aim for the Top. Patty Sobeski and Deborah Capaccio, Listening with the Dragons. And I do apologize for mispronouncing your names. Here's how you do.
She gets it. Thank you.
And now our winners from Army Trail School, Amber Warrington, Chalk, Talk, Walk to Promote Literacy. And Amber again, Hot Topics. Araceli Perez, Magnetic Learning. Gail Stafford, Moving to Books and Words. Tina Semeka, Jennifer Cruccio, Afani Rosso Olea, and Katie Bittner. Sorry. Bricks for Kids, Advanced Engineers, Forces and Interactions, Science Hands-On. Sue Spencer and Debbie Smith, Go Pro in the Classroom, and Laura Mellon, Classroom Novel Study, our winners from Army Trail School.
Come on, I'll split them up, don't worry. Thank you. Work together. Yeah, we're together. Sure.
And our winners from Army Trail School. And last but not least, certainly, our winners from Ardmore School, Jennifer Jacobs, Lending Library Kits, Tina Clement, Lending Library Kits, Elise Willis, and Donnie Suchek, Music Technology, Emma Palladino, Science Centers.
Thank you.
very welcome. Thank you for all of you for attending tonight, also for supporting our organization and helping us to give out all of these mini grants to all these deserving teachers. Thank you.
It's my intergalactic destiny. I'm ready, as we all must be, to take on this crazy meteoric conflict. Yikes!
Watch a movie on the way to work. Can't do this driving, but you can on Pace. Pace turns any commute into moments of relaxation. Travel in a more relaxing pace.
Since 1991, Addison has come together in the spirit of generosity to raise money for those in need. This year, we celebrate the 25th year of the Mayor's Community Charity Ball, and Addison Community Television introduces you to those who make up this unique event. We'll take a look at the foundations, service organizations, and philanthropic groups that illustrate who we are. I'm Dory Croggy. Join me as we take a look at Addison, a community of giving. Addison is fortunate enough to have two foundations dedicated to raising money toward the educational process here in the community. We're at Army Trail School, part of District 4, here to talk about the District 4 Educational Foundation, and I'm with Kathy Willis, who has taken off her state representative hat, and she is here as the vice president of the foundation. Kathy, you began your elected career on the District 4 Board of Education, and when the foundation was formed, you immediately got involved in that. So tell me why you felt that was important, and why is a foundation even necessary?
When I was on the school board, one of the things that we saw was that many of the teachers were putting out money from their own pockets to enhance the education experience. And we wanted to not have them doing that so much, but we wanted to be able to keep that excitement going. So one of the goals of the school board, when I was on the school board, was to establish a foundation to help supplement things that were going on in the classroom that were not under the regular school board budget. Mm-hmm. And so in 2006, we established the Education Foundation for Excellence at District 4.
We've seen these pop up more and more, not just in Addison, but everywhere. Is that a symptom of, having to stretch budgets further? Does it have to do with technology? Why is this such a recent development? And like I said, it seems to be everywhere.
It is everywhere, and it's a combination of things. We encourage our teachers to think out of the box every place. An innovative idea, we want the teachers to be able to go with it. But it's when our school budgets are put in, we don't have money for those out of the ordinary events that are coming through. In fact, many schools have had to cut down assemblies and field trips because the finance rein is not there as much. We just don't have as much money in the school budgets. Things are costing more. Funding from the state, unfortunately, continues to drop. People are maxed out in their property taxes, and all of that has to do with the school's budgets.
Has the tax cap played into that as well, then?
I don't know if the tax cap per se has played into it, or just lower house values has that. That's a lot more where it comes through, I think.
How is something like this different from what PTAs have been doing for decades?
Our main function is to find funding for the schools, and so that's where a lot of it comes to. PTAs are really doing more parental involvement, so we do partner with the PTAs. For example, we have a Foundation Fun Fair where we ask the PTAs to come out and help run fun activities for the families there. but we're really taking it a step beyond. We're not looking at only one particular school, we look at the entire district. So as a foundation, we're looking at all of the schools throughout the district.
So once you get your funds, and we'll go into what you do for fundraising in just a moment, but where does that money go? Tell us about what the foundation does with the money it raises and how it impacts the classrooms.
Historically, we've gone and put it into teacher mini grants. And so since the time we were put into place in 2006, we have had 289 teacher mini grants that we've done, with a total of $110,000 have gone back into the schools. Each school, every year we ask the teachers to submit grant applications. We have a subcommittee that reviews those applications, and we award the mini grants to the teachers. And every school has a plaque, which we have here at Army Trail, listing of all of their grants that they've done. This past year, we were thrilled. We got an additional fund that came in. We were able to award 50 mini grants this year, which is the highest we've ever gone, putting out a total of $24,000 to the teachers to use in their classrooms.
That's amazing. So what kinds of things are you looking for?
Well, we're looking for things that are out of the ordinary. So here, and I'm going to just highlight some of the stuff that we've done here at Army Trail. The biggest thing is we've done a lot of work in music and technology. A number of years ago, the music teachers came to us and said, you know, there's so many great innovative things we can do with technology to help make our music classes go better. And they asked if they could have iPods. That's not something that's covered under the regular school budget. We were able to award the teachers iPods. They download their music and they just click it into there, and that way they don't have to constantly change records or play with tapes or play the piano in there. They've got the music. It's a great innovative thing. Helps them in the classroom and for assemblies that they're doing when they're doing that.
Right.
We've done a lot of parent lending kits. Literature and literacy has been really important in the schools. It's something that we're working really hard on. And we know that if you can get parents to sit and read with kids, it goes so much better.
Absolutely.
Many of our parents don't have access. They work so many hours they may not have access to the public library. We have kids that we send home with them. The teachers have put them together. They're both in English and in Spanish, so many of them are bilingual. And we know that it doesn't matter whether you read to your kid in English or Spanish, reading to the child is a great step, and that's the most important thing. Last year, we had all the 3rd through 5th graders were able to do a roller skating program right here in Army Trail School. So that was really great. We helped cover the equipment they needed to use that, giving them protective gear and skates so that they could do a roller skating unit. We've done some engineering programs where we've had in-school field trips where we've had specialists come in and talk about various things, and we've done some assemblies. And we've also done, the gym teachers came to us and said, you know, we know that childhood obesity is a problem. We want to be able to track what we're doing with these kids, get them excited about PE. And we've gone and helped fund some pedometers and heart monitors for our physical education teachers.
That's great. Now, do the teachers from various schools then, you know, kind of feed off each other, kind of swipe each other's ideas?
They do.
See those things,
they do.
They
see ideas that are working really well in one school, and then another teacher in another school will do it. Or a teacher will be transferred, and that equipment stays in that school. And so when they're in another school, they're like, I need this now. It worked really well at this school. So we try very hard to do that, to get that going through the whole district.
So tell me about where the money comes from. I know that you hold several fundraisers. Before we get into those, does the support typically come from parents, or are you getting a lot from the business community, or where does it come from?
It comes from all over. One of the things we do ask the parents, and we started this a number of years ago, and this was an idea we borrowed from another district. At registration time, parents, in addition to paying for the regular school registration, can make a donation right to the foundation. Many parents do that, and that is a wonderful way that we do that. We do our foundation fun fair that's coming up in April. We try to do that every year. Every spring we do that, which is great. And we just, that more as a publicity thing than a fundraiser. It's sort of a fun thing, and we award our mini grants then so the parents can see where the money went out to, and the teachers too also. And then we do a donation drive where we send out letters and requests to business in the community, and we've gotten a couple of some big responses from that. There are a number of businesses that have been very supportive of that. And then we do the Mayor's Ball. We've been part of the Mayor's Ball since we were put into, we requested to be part of that. And that
Your very first year, since 2006,
yes.
You've been part of it. And I think, going back to your involvement with Kiwanis and that kind of thing, you've been part of the Mayor's Ball Planning Committee. So give us a little behind the scenes, because you've been part of that for many years. What's involved from the organization's point of view as being part of the Mayor's Ball?
Well, there's a number of things. We have the raffle tickets, so we encourage all of our board members are encouraged to sell raffle tickets, whether they buy them themselves or hit up their family and friends, their business associates, to do raffle tickets. So that's always comes right back to our organization, which is a huge thing. We encourage them to buy tickets to the event. It's a fun event. It's not real costly compared to other fundraising black tie events, which is great, and it's a lot of fun too. So we encourage members to buy a ticket for that or spread the word through their family and friends in the community. And then, of course, the silent auction items. We go and we put some baskets together, and that money then, when we sell those, come back to us also. We've been successful in getting a few $1,000s every year out of that, which goes a long way, which is, plus it helps get our message out.
Right.
Anytime we can share our message with more people and what we're doing as a foundation is great. We also work with the Pi Foundation. We joined the Pi Foundation a couple of years ago, and that is the Partnership for Inspired Education, and that is four or five different foundations from education. Basically, it works with District 88 and the feeder schools, and we all work together. And once a year, we also do a combined fundraiser on that, and it's usually at Drury Lane, where it's a dinner and theater package and a silent auction going on.
Why is that important for the foundations to have that same communication and partnership as the school districts themselves do? Because I know that District 4 and District 88 work very well together. Why is it important for the foundations as well?
Well, I think it's sort of we can share great ideas. So, if one foundation is finding something that works really well, if you share it with another one, they can expand it. And I think it's also very similar to the way the Mayor's Ball is. When you have a bunch of organizations that all are doing the same type of fundraising, if you can work together with it, it brings a lot more people together, and many hands make light work, and I think that's where I look at it that way. Instead of all of us doing a dinner dance, we can work together and have one big fundraising event that we can all participate in.
Your kids are out of the elementary district. In fact, they're out of the high school district, and yet you have remained very active, especially now that you're so busy running back and forth to Springfield. Why do you think it's important for someone who may be considering getting more involved in the foundation, who may be going, well, yeah, but my kids aren't in the district yet, or they've already left? Why do you think it's important?
Well, first of all, we have members of our foundation that are similar to I am, empty nesters. We have some that have children that are still in the school. We have a couple of members that don't even have children. Education is one, and I have found this, and I'll put my state rep hat back on briefly, but we found education is key to everybody in the community, whether you are in the school or not. Your property values tend to look at what is the education system in there. Everybody was a student at some point in time, so they understand that. Your teachers' pensions are paid out of state funds. So education is valuable to everybody on that. And when you have something that you can be proud of, as I am with District 4, I think it's one of the best in the area. That's one of the things I think you need to continue to be involved in that, and it shouldn't just be because you have kids there.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Kathy. We've been talking with Kathy Willis from the District 4 Foundation. You can learn more about the Educational Foundation by visiting the District 4 website, which is asd4.org.
The raffle actually is a chance for everybody to get involved if they hadn't prior to this point, but it's also an opportunity for the charities to gain a little bit more revenue for their individual causes and programs.
Learn more about the Mayor's Community Charity Ball and other events by visiting ithappensinAddison.com.